I'm in Lumberton, North Carolina, which is considered the most dangerous city in the state of North Carolina. It has a population of 19,000 and it's declining, like a lot of bad cities are. It's 36% white, 36% black, 13% American Indian, 10% Hispanic, and 2% Asian. So this one is really diverse, this city. The average age is 37, and 23% of the adults that live here are seniors. So nearly 1 in 4 of the people that live here are considered seniors. I don't know what age they use to consider somebody seniors, but if they use 65, this is an old population and somehow still manages to be a bad city. Typically a city that has an older population tends to be on the safer side, but not Lumberton. And the trend of the male-female ratios being off continues in Lumberton. It's 48% male to 52% female here. I looked up what the ratio in the United States is, and it's slightly higher for women, but it's like 50.4% or something like that. So it's not a huge, nationwide it's pretty much a 50-50. But in a lot of these bad cities, in a lot of them, the ratio is, 47, 53, 48, and 52, stuff like that, where that's considered off. I wouldn't consider 49, 51 off. That's just slightly off, but these 48 to 52 that's off. That's considerably more females than males. There's a lot of it. I don't know if you can see these these buildings on the right here. A lot of them are closed up. This one, oh no, that one's looks like it's used for storage for the ATV place next door. There's a 47% home ownership rate here, which is 25% lower than the US average. And I personally consider it bad in cities like this anytime it goes below 50%, because you need, the more people that own a home, the less likely you're going to have high crime. And this is at 47%. It's not far below, but it's enough below that you got a lot more people that are renting than are owning. The median home value here, and I need to check more sources because I can't even believe that this number is correct. If this number is correct, the median home value here is $107,000 a year. I don't know if that, I get that my sources are reliable as far as I can tell, but the city could have faulty data as well. But I'm sure they're going on what houses are selling for, and what houses are, what the value of the house is. And $107,000, you should have an 85% home ownership rate in a place that has houses that the average price is $107,000. That means that there's houses here probably for $40,000 or $50,000, which you just can't do anywhere anymore. The median rent price too is super low, $665 a month. That's 30% lower. There's a lot of, oh, is that a stray dog? It looks pregnant, or it looks like it just gave birth to babies. There's a lot of closed up businesses. We're gonna go up this road so we can see what the houses look like here that you can buy for $100,000. The average income is $36,000 a year, which is kind of typical of a city like this. There's a 29% poverty rate. So basically 1 in every 3 people that live here live below the poverty line. That's a really high poverty number. I mean, a lot of cities are around 20, even, you know, low 20s, but going as high as 29%, that's really low. That house looks like nobody lives in it. Oh, actually, there's cars parked there. And 45% of the black residents live below the poverty line. And blacks made up 36% of the population. And nearly half of them live below the poverty line. There's a 31% marriage rate, which is low. 74% of the people were born in Lumberton or born in North Carolina. That's a high number. That's people that are born somewhere and they get kind of stuck there, or they like it and they stay. 7% are considered foreign born, and it shows 5% non-citizens. Well, that house was burnt down. Holy cow. I don't know why they don't tear down these houses that are, when they're burnt down like that. They're just magnets for kids to go and do bad stuff to them. There isn't much to look at this city. It's super small. I mean, the population's under 20,000. We'll see what the rest of this looks like. We're going to be on some. There wasn't much to the city, and the roads were all blocked off with road construction. So the homicides here go up and down, and they range anywhere from 0 to 8 a year. And the murder rates are typically around 20. So their average or typical each year murder rate, although it goes up and down, is typically around 20. And for perspective on that, Chicago's murder rate is 22. Typically every year, Chicago's around 22. Chicago has big numbers, but they also have a big population. So when you compare it on a per 100,000 person basis, the murder rate in this small town that doesn't look like much of anything, especially out here wherever we are. I saw the sign that said we're still in Lumberton, so we're still in it. But there isn't anything out here. The murder rate here is the same, basically, slightly better than Chicago. In 2022, their murder rate was 43, and in 2014, the murder rate was 50. So those are like closer to like Baltimore numbers. So when they have those spike years, they start off at Chicago and they go up to cities like Baltimore levels on their spike years. Their assault rates since 2020 have been in the 1,600 to 1,900 per 100,000 person range. Detroit is around 1,600. So they're worse than Detroit, or equal to than Detroit as far as their assaults go. I think we're going to run out of roads to drive down. I'm going to go down this road. We'll see what these houses look like. Because we're going to run out of roads because you can't really get into the downtown with the road construction. But we can check out what these houses look like. So this is the type of house that you can buy for about $100,000. That one looks all like it needs some work, but I mean, well, they all look like they need, well, that one looks nice. That one looks like they just built a that house is nice. That one's throwing the one on the right there. I don't know if you can see how big that thing is. That house is nice. That one throws the balance off. That one's got to be worth a few $100,000 anyway. Maybe not in this neighborhood, but let's see what we got here. Let's go up this way, because that way there isn't anything that I can drive down. So, and their assault rates pre-2020, because everything, when I do crime numbers, everything is pre-2020 or post-2020, because 2020 jacked up America. It jacked it up as far as crime goes. It destroyed everything. Even good cities went bad. Pre-2020, the assault rates here were still high. They were in the 900s to thousands. still high. That's Baltimore levels, but they went from Baltimore up to Detroit levels and higher, and on their way to Memphis levels. These are all rental stuff here. It's a dead end. I'm pretty sure this is going to be a dead end. There wasn't a sign that said dead end, but I'm pretty sure this is going to be a dead end. So we're just going to turn around here. Well, this one's got a cul-de-sac. I don't know if I can make that. Yep, this one's got a cul-de-sac. Yeah, this is where a lot of people that are renting are living. It doesn't look like most of it is occupied. I mean, most of these look like nobody lives in them. That one's got some chairs and that grill out front. These three have people living in them, but most of them look like nobody probably lives in them even. So the violent crime here is 549% higher than the national average. That is really high. That is really bad. It's a small town. It doesn't take a lot of incidents to get really bad. When you do things statistically on a per 100,000 person basis, it doesn't take a lot of incidents to have super high crime. Like if someone said, hey, this town has had 5 murders this year, you'd be like, oh, well, 5, that's not that big of a number. But with how small their population is, it gives them a murder rate of like GoPro cutout. I had it off for a long time. It should be working fine. It's been off all night, but it's not for whatever reason. So they go up, the theft rates go up and down, but 5,000 to 10,000 is really high. We've already been on this road. I got a little more that I want to say about this city, so we're going to see if we can find someplace that we have not been. I'll drive down one of these roads right up over here. This is considered one of the most dangerous cities in America and rates in the bottom 10% as far as crime goes. It's really small, and with that road blocked off up there, there isn't anywhere to really drive. So we're going to get a better look of these smaller areas. They got a Subway, a Food Lion. I mean, they have stuff. There's a Dollar Tree. We'll go down this block. No through trucks. Okay, well, I'm not a truck. Vacant lot, boarded up house. Your odds of becoming a victim of a crime here is 1 in 8. That's only really bad cities get that 1 in 8. 1 in 8, 1 in 9, 1 in 10, all of those. This one on the left is boarded up. This guy's walking down the middle of the street. I'll just stay behind him for now because I got a lot to say still. The year-over-year crime here increased by 260%. Now that's a huge number, and it's let's just get out of here. Let's get off this block. The year-over-year crime increased by 260%, and that's a huge percent. But when you're looking at a city like this, again, the population is so small that it doesn't take much to make the crime increase. It doesn't take a lot. If a few incidents can make that. If they had 5 more incidents of assaults, that can make that number jump up that much probably. Maybe not 260. It maybe had to be more than that, but it doesn't take much. The cost of living here, though, it's cheaper than the national average. Obviously, if you can buy a house here for $100,000 still, this is a very cheap place to live. The schools, 39% of the kids here graduate proficient at reading and math. That guy must want to get over. I'll let him get over. Nope, he doesn't. 39%, so a little over 1 in 3 graduate at a 12th grade level for reading and math. The state of North Carolina is 43%, and the U.S. average is 48%. So the U.S. average is horrible. Less than half the kids graduate at a 12th grade level. and North Carolina's worse, and the schools here in Lumberton are even worse than that. Here's some shed to houses on the side that maybe that's what makes the value of these houses. You can buy one of those for about $5,000, maybe $10,000, and people are living in those. And 75% of the people that live here completed the 8th grade, and 73% graduated high school. So it's a city that's on the poorer side, and a city that isn't teaching their kids well enough. And what was it, 39%? Yeah, 39% graduate at a 12th grade level, and I imagine most, if not all of those 39% that bothered to learn something while they were here in school probably moved out. They probably aren't keeping a population of kids that are, the ones that are staying are the ones that are dropping out, and the ones that didn't learn that were the other 61%. That house is burnt down or boarded up. It's not much of a town. We've seen pretty much the whole thing, other than that one section that I couldn't get to because of the road construction. But we'll drive through a little bit more. But if you're looking for a really cheap place to live, and you can get a loan to buy a house for $100,000, and you just want to have your little piece of America, this would be a good place to go. If you're not all that worried about the crime, and if you don't have any kids that are at school age level, you can buy a house here for $100,000. And that is crazy that you can buy a house for $100,000. I mean, the properties, some of them are decent size too. That one's, it's like 2 lot sizes. The yard is huge. Well, that's about all I got for Lumberton, North Carolina. Wish I could have shown you more, but that city, or that road construction blocked it all off. So, but we got to see some of the houses. And again, it's one of the higher crime places you could possibly ever be, statistically, but it's mainly just because their population is so low, and when your population is below 20,000, you can't absorb a lot of crime. It doesn't take much for your numbers to statistically be really high. So we've already seen this road twice, so I'm just going to drop this off here. Thanks for watching.